From baseballs to 8 balls of coke we pitching. Through the windows of my soul I captured the vision. Standing over the stove in the kitchen. Touch more keys than pianos. Whipping them chickens. Baptized in these streets but close to God like true Christians. But we all Muslim off our deen like Allah's missing. In God we trust, stuffed in my true religions. A lost sheep trying to find its way back home. Where I'd rather live broke together than die rich alone. I'm my brother's keeper but we each other's backbone. Praying for good health, prosperity and keep us all strong. Share my wealth amongst my fam cause one day we all be gone. Memories of Medellin carved in the stone. The purple flag still for royalty in the blocks I roam. To loot Afghanistan, the Casas a war zone.
I'd rather be broke together than rich alone. I'd rather be broke together than rich alone. I'd rather be broke together than rich alone.
Sacrifices bring riches, nigga, remember that scripture.
I'd rather be broke together than rich alone. I'd rather be broke together than rich alone. I'd rather be broke together than rich alone.
Sacrifices bring riches, nigga, remember that scripture. Am I my brother's keeper? Yes, I am, and blessed I am. So it's a must that I bless my mans and them. Each one teach one, and if you reach one, you better keep one. Real homies are hard to find, so I ain't looking for none. I just keep it real with mines and cherish the love. Me and my brother been on a rough ride, had some tough times, but we stayed down like 4 flat tires. Had to weather the storm. It's a pleasure to have a brother that never brought no harm. Always ready to ride, always ready for war. It's a must that we settle the score. I can't see myself at the top without my brothers. Just can't do it without my brothers. Cause without my brothers, I'm alone anyway. So if you count me in, you better count my brothers.
Brothers keeper. Yes. I'd rather be broke together than rich alone. I'd rather be broke together than rich alone. I'd rather be broke together than rich alone.
Sacrifices bring riches, nigga, remember that scripture.
I'd rather be broke together than rich alone. I'd rather be broke together than rich alone. I'd rather be broke together than rich alone.
Sacrifices bring riches, nigga, remember that scripture.
I'd rather be broke together than rich alone. Broke together than rich alone. Broke together than rich alone.
Do you know where you're going to? Do you like the things that life is showing you? Do you know where you're going to? Do you like the things that life is showing you? Where are you going to? Do you know? Going to take your time, young.
Take your time, young man.
Mama used to say, don't you rush to get older. Mama used to say, don't you rush the game, boy.
Don't rush the game, boy.
Mama used to say, live your life. Live your life.
They say the children are our future, but with so much retribution, they missing out on their future. So much devastation, lack of education, got them twisted in this nation. Though poverty is worldwide,
so it's genocide.
every day it's a homicide. These little guys spraying bullets like it's pesticide. The revolution isn't televised. It's the lives of our young black men taken by their own peers and white lawmen. It's a fight out here. It's like we have no rights out here.
You already know who it is. It is your girl, Miss Kiwi, and I am back.
She back.
We are here once again in the studio with a great topic. And y'all know who I am here with my co-host,
Miss
Fast Lane 747. What up, y'all?
Yes. So tonight we will be talking about life before and after trauma. But before we get into that topic, we want to let y'all know what our mission statement. Why not said mission statement?
You know what our mission statement is. We want to make sure that we are bridging the gap between our youth and our season. And what better topic than majority of our topics that we talk about, but especially the one tonight, because trauma is all over the world. And a lot of people need that help with understanding how to deal with trauma, how to come back from trauma, how to relate to others that are dealing with trauma, not just shoving it up under the rug, because everybody doesn't deal with trauma the same, but we all need to talk it out and express ourselves. I know that we have a lot of different things going on in our life, but hey, let us be your sounding board. We want all of our callers, listeners, viewers, everybody call in, express yourself. Tell us a little bit about how you may deal with some of the trauma that you've experienced. But we're going to jump into this topic and get it going, because we definitely don't want you to miss anything.
Call in 515-599-1687. That's 515-599-1687.
Oh, you was going a little too long then, huh? You forgot the number.
Too much fun.
Right, exactly.
I was having too much fun. Too much.
Yes.
I gotta
yes,
get back focused, baby. Get focused.
Well, before it is that we get into our topic, I just have to ask Miss Kiwi, because when she walked through the door, I thought she was Mary J. Blige.
Man, don't play with it, baby. Hey, this is how I feel today, baby. This is how.
So you know what they say about the blondes, Mary.
Baby, I'm trying something new. I'm trying something. It's okay though. It's all right. I'm gonna work it tonight, but it might not be work no more. But I'm gonna work it tonight, baby.
It looks good on you. It looks good on you. I told you look like Mary coming through the door. I was getting ready to say, okay, queen.
Baby, you know she might walk through the door one day now.
That's right. Absolutely. She will. Yes. So talking about life before and after trauma, how are you dealing with trauma? Are you learning to cope, or are you just learning to live?
Yes, we gotta understand that, because trauma can start at an early age.
Yes,
trauma is anything that has made you feel uncomfortable. Trauma is anything that that was dangerous to you, something that was shocking, something you never saw before, and it actually altered your mood, the way you feel, you know what I'm saying? Because it was shocking. So, trauma can come, and, it just depends on what you done been through. Trauma it's real.
Yes.
It's a part of mental.
Yes, and you don't shun it off. And I know that statistics says that a lot of people are emotionally detached from their trauma, so they don't deal with it until it starts showing its ugly head again, because we rarely get over trauma unless it is that we talk about it. Trauma is an emotional response to a distressing event that can have lasting effects on a person's physical, social, emotional, and spiritual well-being.
Yeah, and trauma can cause anxiety. It can cause you to become depressed. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of times we don't deal with trauma. We just allow it to, other things to just keep coming, and it's steady piling on. And then we wondering why. One day we may be happy, but then the next minute we look around, we sad. You know what I'm saying? Because we have not dealt with the things that traumatized us, and especially if you have been a child and has been traumatized. Children that has been molested, children that has been trafficked. You know what I'm saying? So those are things that can traumatize children, and they'll grow up with that because they never got help.
Heck, life is traumatizing sometimes.
It is. But can you imagine a child?
Yeah.
That,
I can't imagine.
Because children really can't defend themselves. So it's like they experiencing this horrifying situation, and a lot of kids don't even tell it. Yeah. You don't find out about it until they grown.
That's just like when kids is growing up in a household and they're seeing a lot of violence. You know what I mean? And they're seeing they parents beating on each other, and
Yeah.
you know, like kids carry that with them, and they don't realize that plays a major part of trauma too, because they be traumatized by their own household.
Yep.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Situations that's
Their
going on in
environment.
front of them that's forced on them that has nothing to do with them personally, but it was forced on them because they ain't had no choice. This was their house,
Right.
and you know, a lot of times like we don't realize we could traumatize our kids
Yep.
not checking ourselves. You know what I mean? Carrying the things that's bothering us or the burdens that's bothering us, and then we act out, and we tend to act out on them, and we don't even realize we still got a lot of weight on our shoulders that's throwing us off. You know what I mean? So, you know, it started at home too. Like a lot of kids been traumatized from their own household, and it don't even always got to be molestation. It
That's
could just be
right.
drama.
That's
a lot
right.
of drama surrounding them, and then we wonder why these kids react how they react. Well, that's
Exactly.
what they've been taught. That's what they've been trained to think that's how it's supposed to go. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like
Yeah.
that's how they deal with situations because the people before them, that's what they saw.
Right.
You know?
You right. You right.
And then it's never talked about.
Yeah.
You know, because and I have been guilty of this, especially being a younger parent. You know, we never really ask our children how do they feel. You know, after something that didn't happen. You know what I'm saying? I'm saying like when I was younger. You know, I feel that was one of the things that, you know, I might have made a mistake with, but you know, we don't ask our kids after something that has happened, you know, how do you feel about this? You know, are you okay? You know, do you want to talk about it, or you know, what it make you feel like, you know? But I feel that's a good way, you know, even with adults, because it don't just have to be children. Even with adults, you know, I feel like sometimes after people that went through something traumatic, you know, they need to talk about it. They need somebody who they feel they can trust to talk about it with, because, you know, when you're expressing it out of your mouth, it's like you kind of feeling what you're saying, so it's kind of helping you release it. So, you know, talking about it is a good thing, you know.
Yeah, because talking about it also makes you, it's a part of facing it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
A lot of people don't face it. They don't talk about it. You know what I mean?
That's right.
Communicating play a major key, because the more you communicate about it, like you said, it's a form of release. You know what I mean? You
is.
feel a lot better sometimes. You know,
Yeah.
that's just like you could have an argument with somebody you love, and y'all could both have valid points, and once y'all release it, it could have been something y'all been carrying for a while, but once y'all release it and talk about it, even if the conversation got heated,
Right.
once it's over, it's almost like a
Yeah,
we had
like
that
a big
talk.
weight.
You know what
Yeah.
I mean? And that's the same way with certain things along this journey we go through. You know, it can be a rough ride sometime, and if you don't have nobody to talk to, it makes it even rougher, because we carry them loads with
By
us.
yourself,
You know what I mean? And then when you get around other people, you tend to act out in a certain manner, and you don't even realize you're doing it. But it's part of it becomes an instinct within you. You know what I mean? Like, you know, growing up, you know, like we went through a lot of traumatizing situations as far as just in the neighborhood. You know, we lost a lot of homies that was younger, 15 years old. We lost little Tony, you know what I mean? And at that time, like, we didn't realize how it affected us, because we was just all in going with everything that was coming to us. You know what I'm saying? But we didn't realize a lot of stuff was coming to us was really affecting us.
Right.
And as men, it took us to grow up and become men to really understand what we was facing. You know what I'm saying? Like, we were so traumatized, we didn't even realize what it was. You know what I'm saying? We didn't even know that it was affecting our relationships, affecting our communication skills, as far as being able to network with strangers. We really didn't communicate with people outside of our circle. You know what I'm saying? Because of the things that happened to us as youngsters. So a lot of times we don't realize what other people been through, and that kind of, like, without, like, cutting off their form of communication, that makes it hard for people to express themselves. Because a lot of people have taken what you tell them and use it against you. So now people hesitate to share it, you know?
Yeah. And then not only that, like you stated, a lot of things, and especially from a man's standpoint, and I really hope that a lot of men are listening to the show, for the simple fact and reason being, it's okay to express yourself as a man. It's okay to share your feelings as a man. A lot of men feel like they so hard until it's not okay to cry. That's bull crap. It's okay to cry.
God gave you them emotions. He gave them to you for a reason. You know?
Well, you know, it play a major part of, though, how society have painted a picture as if a man don't supposed to cry, but we have feelings too.
That's
you know what I mean? As a man, we do have to stand strong and represent that strength. But we have weak days too. You know what I mean? We fall too. We have to get back up too. And as a man, you know, a lot of times people put expectations on that title, but they don't have a clue what that man then went through. There's a lot of burdens on that man's shoulders. You know what I'm saying? And as a man, we deal with so much more of the unseen that's coming at us that we don't have a clue until we facing them.
That's
you know what I mean? And if you ain't been prepared for it, you don't know what to do. And you don't even know how to communicate to the next person about it because you'll think it's you.
That's
you know what I'm saying? You'll just think it's personally you.
That's
when really it's the things you've been through.
Yeah.
You know, so
So that's why I mean, you know, I just encourage our men, you know, if you're listening, hey, first and foremost, call in. Let us know how it is that you deal with those emotions. We know that, and I'm not going to say everybody, but there are, I'm going to say majority have dealt with trauma, especially in our culture, our communities. You know, we've in some form have dealt with some type of trauma. You walk out your door and it's, you know, gunshots firing, somebody dropped dead on the block, or, you know, and even if it is that you haven't dealt with that, you get in a car accident. That's trauma.
Yes, it is.
Yes, you get into a fight. You know, somebody trying to. That's trauma.
But you know, bullying. I mean, you know what? I'm gonna be honest with you. I just feel like, you know, anything that you have never experienced, it's new to you. It's foreign. That, you know, make you shock or make you nervous or disturb your peace. You know what I'm saying? That's caused trauma. That could cause trauma because a lot of people, you know, experience things for the very first time and they never come back from that. You know, because they don't know how, or, you know what I'm saying, they didn't start doing something else to try to pacify that pain. And now they may be addicted to drugs, or they may be addicted to sex, or, you know, whatever the case may be. But, you know, people got to know that dealing with trauma is not easy. But we have to deal with it.
Yeah,
we have to.
It comes in a lot of different forms too. And we got to realize, like, trauma runs so deep that even when they hunting animals, how they kill that animal plays a major part of that meat that you're eating. You know what I'm saying? Because the way that animal died, that's what's inside of that animal's body. You know what I'm saying? And we taking that in. You know what I mean? So, like, you know, like, I was making that example to say, like, we don't really, like, we want to say that, well, we done moved on and that was then and this ain't affecting us now. But the thing is, until you face it, it's going to keep being carried on. That's just like the things our ancestors went through. We don't realize how powerful DNA is. The DNA never changes. So as it's getting passed down, we got trauma in us that our ancestors faced that we don't even realize. You know what I'm saying? That's why certain things we look at life in a certain manner. It don't even have to be with this time frame we living in. It's been passed down to us. You know what I'm saying? That's just like even ways we worship, ways we believe. You know what I'm saying? It's been passed down to us. And sometimes we don't even know that it was forced on them. You know what I'm saying? So, and I'm not talking about no certain religion. I'm just talking about things our ancestors have been through that affected us right now. And it was very traumatizing. And we don't understand that it plays a part of how we see life, how we think, how we move, how we break down things, how we have built empires. And now we don't even see that in ourselves.
That's right.
You feel me? It's a lot of us that think like that, but it's a lot of us that don't realize that we are the great builders and all that. But because of the trauma, have made us so blindfolded that we don't even see the power within us until we face that trauma. We have to get those burdens off our back.
Yes,
you know what I mean? But when you think it ain't there, you know how you be around somebody and they always snapping, and then you tell them like, man, see, you tripping, bro. It wasn't even like that, but he was all like, but that's just how I am, and this is da 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 da.
They don't make it
but
right all the time.
Until we face that man in the mirror, we don't realize the trauma that we're facing. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of people could tell you that you acting out of your character. Until you see that in that man in that mirror, you gonna think, well, this is just me. But you don't know what created you or what molded you to get to this point. You know what I mean? So me, myself, that's why I'm always saying I'm working with the man in the mirror. I have been through so many things that I have realized that in order for me to get strong, I got to face what I have been through within myself, if nobody else. And correct it the best way I can, and keeping on and praying for help to help me correct it. You know what I'm saying? Because no man's perfect, and that's what helps us strive for perfection. You know what I'm saying? A lot of the things we have been through wasn't really to hurt us. It was to build us up and give us strength. You know what I mean? But if we don't look at it like that, we just pass it on to the next person.
That's right.
And pass it on to the next person. And we don't realize those ways that we're passing on, they won't even have a clue.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
But it's energy. Energy is everything.
Yep.
And trauma plays a major part of how it affects our energy, because that can shift your energy.
Exactly.
You know, it'll have you feeling down, it'll have you gloomy, it'll have you beating up yourself.
Yes.
Because you're not facing those things that really affected you. You know what I'm saying?
And you know what? You say something real. I mean, it's very powerful what it is that you just said, for the simple fact and reason being, when I was looking through, when we were talking about having this discussion, I was looking through some information, and I came across this doctor that has stated that unless it is, you can't go back and fix your past, but you can deal with your past with how it is that you deal with what's going on with you in the present. You can't, go back to this, and this, but it's impacting you now. So how are you going to fix you now? How are you going to fix what is causing you to act the way that you act now? Because in reality, you can see and you can feel and you can deal with what it is that you're doing right now. Your past, you can't go back and just actually fix that so it'll make it right now. You got to deal with, like we always say, focusing on that man in the mirror, because that's what's staring at you right now. And if you focus on that and try to get that fixed, that man fixed, then that will help fix other things. A lot of times we feel that, we be too nervous to talk to, and you do have to know who it is that you're talking to. But if you seek, talking to someone, I'll say like a therapist or a psychiatrist, that's somebody that don't know nothing about you, can't pass no judgment on you because they don't know nothing about you. And that's a part of their profession, to listen to you. So we have to get away from being scared when we need help to talk to other people.
But I feel like this too, though. I actually, and this is just my opinion, but I feel like we really do need to fix the trauma that we had experienced in the past. Like you said, it right now in the future. You can't change that, but you can fix that, because that is the only way you'll be able to move forward and be able to accept and be able to we cannot deal with what's in front of us because we never dealt with what was behind us. And you definitely won't be able to deal in the future because you can't get past the present.
Well, you know why, and you just said it too. You know why it's a major key to that, and it's simple. In order to know where you're going,
you gotta come
on
now.
You gotta know where you've been. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
So when you done been through hell and back, and you know that, then it also gives you a clear mind to know that I don't want to be back in that situation. You feel me?
Absolutely.
And that gives you strength to face that situation in a different manner now. So when it comes in front of you, you be more familiar.
That's
because
right.
You didn't just wash it away like it never happened.
Right,
you faced
exactly.
it, and you it gave you strength now. That's what I like when I be saying, like, you learn to take a negative and turn it into a positive. You know what I'm saying? And when I say that, when you go back and look at those situations, you find a reason. You know what I mean? You start looking for the reason instead of the why me. You find the reason that it did happen to you, and then you realize, like, okay, I did go through this. But when you say I went through something, that means you made it through it. You see what I'm saying? So that also gives you strength to know that I can handle this because I made it through it already. You know what I mean? That's just like I went through a situation when I was in a wheelchair and they told me, well, we don't know when you'll walk again. I never, ever, ever could imagine even hearing that conversation because these legs always running. Right. But when I went through that, God was showing me, though, like, I made you a certain way. You see what I'm saying? So when you went through that, it's how you see it is what's going to get you where you're going. Because when you realize I put you there for a reason, and I gave you strength, and I picked you back up and put you back on your feet, and you're walking again. You know what I'm saying? So now I know that these legs is for a reason. It's places I gotta get to. You know what I'm saying? And not just saying it in that way, but I really know that it's a reason. So now when I speak on that, it's not a bad thing. You know what I'm saying? Because I know he used me because he gave me something I didn't even know I had myself.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So a lot of times the trauma that we go through, we had strength to make it through it. We just didn't look at the strength in the process. We looked at the situation.
That's
you know
right.
what I'm saying? We got to learn to look at how did I carry that? How did I carry that load when I was going through it? And now that I know that I could do that, that means I could face whatever else to come now in this present time. You know what I mean? Because I have strength in me that I didn't know I had.
That's
you know what I'm
right.
saying? But that plays a major part of faith too, believing in the unseen.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes,
So
yes,
no
yes.
matter what we have been through, it plays a major part of your journey.
Exactly.
It's for a reason. I can't delete the bad things I've been through and only cherish the good things. How could I even appreciate the good things that I face now
You
if
don't
I
appreciate
don't
the bad
appreciate
things.
the bad things that I have
Exactly.
went through?
Yes.
Because that helps me understand the difference. You know?
Yeah, absolutely.
That's true.
You know, speaking, you know, a little bit further, some of the events that we've talked about, and there's, you know, hey, trauma can be caused from many different events. You know, I can even go back and I can speak to it now because I do also understand and realize that even though it was, you know, hey, and not just putting our business out in the street, but this is how it is that we can show others that we relate to what it is that you may be going through. Hey, our father wasn't no peacemaker, but you know what? He prepared first and foremost us in knowing how to deal with certain situations, most definitely. You know, all the things that was built up in him from anger and all that, and it was never addressed from him growing from a child to a teenager to a man. So then when he became a man, then that's when it is, and he had a family, then that's when it is that his family was impacted. So with that being said, that taught us how to look back at that and deal with what it is that we can deal with now to help prepare us and to deal with certain things that we have to deal with our family.
Right.
Most definitely.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's so true.
And it can be hard, you know, but hey, none of us are like, you know, we've talked about it before. None of us are perfect, but we were perfectly made.
Yes.
And that's the reason why it is that we can tap inside and, you know, hey, if you can't do it by yourself, then get help to do it with. Because there's been a few times that I've, you know, talked to a therapist because of things that I've gone through and I've experienced. But I talked through it only because I used to have that mindset that, you know, because I'm an analyzer. So I analyze people. And I'm all like, I would go, and even when it was that I would go to a therapist, I would sit there and I would look at her and I'd be all like, you ain't telling me nothing I don't know. I mean, you know, so you really can't help me. But what it was I wasn't releasing what it was that was deep within. You know, it was just surface for me. So then when I started releasing what was deep within, then that's when it is that I realized, oh yeah, you need to get it out.
Yeah, but you know, because I say majority in the black community, we grew up and were taught that, you know, talking to a shrink was, you know, you crazy and that's not good. But you know, when you really think about it, you know, when you talk to people that know your situation, you know, it's easier for them to judge you.
Hey.
But when you talk to somebody that don't know your situation, see, they're actually listening because they really want to know, like, you know, how did you get to this point?
Right.
You know, and they're not judging you because they don't know anything about you. They're just listening to what you're telling them.
Absolutely.
So, you know, I just feel like, you know, it's okay to go talk to somebody you don't know.
It is. And, you know, I want to say this, though, for our people, period. We got to open up those lanes of communication with each other again where it's not so much judgmental. Like, we all pay attention to everybody else so much that we ain't judging ourselves enough. So when we come to each other, everybody's listening with a judgmental ear instead of an open heart. You know what I'm saying? Because when they said it takes a village, that means the good days, the bad days, when it get hard, when it get rough, we supposed to be able to come to each other and communicate, and we supposed to be able to at least just be a listening ear. You know what I'm saying? Instead of a judging ear. Because a lot of times we'll find ourselves talking to each other and it becomes a battle. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I'm pouring out to you, but now you trying to pour out to me. And before you know it, we battling with each other's pain instead of embracing each other's pain. You know what I'm saying? And that's when they say steel sharpens steel. We got to get back to that. We got to get back to giving each other strength. We got to quit tearing each other down so much, because each one of us are individuals cut from a special cloth. He only made one.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Ain't nobody walking around on this earth the exact same.
That's right.
I don't care what color the skin. I'm talking about we're not the exact same.
Right.
So we all got something to offer each other if we take time out to listen. That's why he gave us 2 ears and 1 mouth. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of times when people come to you and they crying out to you, we got to learn to humble ourselves down and bite our tongue and be able to listen. Because the same way you want somebody to listen to you, you know what I mean? You got to be that ear too. Not saying you listening to everybody bull crap, but you got to be an ear to somebody. You know, we shouldn't have to run to the shrinks or none of them all the time. And they have got to a point where we have cut off communication, where we can't communicate amongst each other without it being judged. You know what I'm saying? That's just like, we so quick to advertise bad news. You know, somebody else's bad news is what I'm saying, though. We're not quick to advertise our own bad news.
Right, exactly.
You see what I'm saying? And we grew up in a time where they said to us a lot, mind your own business. You see what I'm saying? When you come around talking about somebody else's business, we used to get checked. Hey, mind your own business.
Right.
You know what I mean? And now that I'm old, I understand it. Now that I have grew wiser. I ain't older because you're only as old as you feel.
That's right.
But I have grew wiser, and now I totally understand what they mean by that. When you minding your own business, you checking yourself more, you handling your business more, and the things that you going through. If you want to talk about something, you rather share your pain instead of talking about somebody else's pain.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, we quick to tear somebody else down. But we ain't quick to build somebody else up.
That's right.
And we got to get back better, because we are the great builders. You know what I'm saying? Even within, we have to build each other back up. You know, that's why they want to divide us, because together is so much more strength. Divided, we all just alone. We can't even talk to each other.
Right.
But together, when we start talking, that means we can start building. We can start putting them plans together. Even if you can't build with everybody, you got to find somebody that you could build with, somebody you could communicate with. It's not always about that significant other. You know what I'm saying? Because sometimes you need somebody to talk to outside of that, because our emotions could be getting in the way of understanding when you're dealing with a significant other. So when you're talking to someone else that don't have them same feelings, they'll listen with an open ear. You know what I'm saying? So we need to get back to being able to talk to each other and being able to listen to each other, because we all got trauma on us that we don't realize it until we act out.
Right.
You know, you'll get into a relationship with somebody and they acting like they so perfect and they want to be this perfect person, and then when things get hard,
that's
they
when
start
you see
revealing
that's
they
when
can't
you
handle
see
this
real,
hard.
that's
you know
true.
what I mean? They can't handle real conversations. It get pressures. And then you'll start realizing there's something else bothering this person. You know what I'm saying? It's something else bothering this person. And I ain't judging. All I'm saying is we got to learn to start looking at situations different than how we see it. Because how we see it is a judgmental mind state for the most part, because our responses.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? How we respond, that don't help. We tear each other down even more.
That's
You
right.
see somebody going through something and they cry on your shoulders, and then you turn around and talk about them.
Exactly.
Right. And then not only that, but during the time, and this is something, you know, hey, I have to give a shout out to Miss Kiwi, you know, to help me understand, because I get in the heat of things and trying to express myself until it is that I cut off, you know, I may cut you off instead of, you know, just sitting back when it's your time to allow you to speak and talk and express yourself before it is that I start, you know, expressing myself. But a lot of times I know that, and I'll say within, say, for instance, my relationship, if it is that you know, I have something on my mind, my whole expectation is that I feel that you should listen too. But when it is that you not really listening, you just want to get your point across, then that's when it is that my feelings start bubbling, and I don't really want to hear it. I'm gonna go ahead and interject because I already know you're gonna cut me off. So I have had to learn, regardless to what, I'm going to let you get your piece and let you say what you say, but I want the same respect.
Exactly.
I want the same respect. Give me that same respect. I know I done cut you off before in the past and all that, but I'm learning to, you know, ease away from that because my emotions get up in there. So, yeah, we do have to learn how to take our emotions out.
We do, because when we so emotional, you still not accomplishing anything.
That's the point. It become a battle.
It is, you know, and it's becoming worse and worse and worse. It's not getting better because nobody's hearing each other. You're not, what you're expressing, you really not.
It's not getting heard.
It's not nothing. Like, you know what I'm saying? So.
That's why people will be like, well, I told you. Well, in the heat of the moment when you told me,
I wasn't listening.
Me and you yelling, how did I really hear you?
Exactly.
Right.
I'm screaming what I'm screaming and you screaming what you screaming.
Exactly.
And that's what I mean by communication is very important. That's why they say communication is key, and that's in all situations, because with the right communication, that's where understanding come in at. But if we ain't communicating right, we don't never have understanding. People walking away like, all right, you said what you said and I said what I said, but we still didn't get understanding out of
that's
communication.
Right. Nothing in common.
You know?
And it takes two for a conversation.
It does.
You know, because the thing about it is that you can be talking and talking and talking, and that person looking you dead in your face ain't even listening. You know? So, you know, it's about you talk, I listen, you listen, I talk. You know what I'm saying? That's a communication. That's a conversation. Because a conversation ain't, that's not a conversation.
Like you
we
said,
don't even
it's
know what was
confrontation.
really said. Exactly. You know, so
Yep.
And that's deep.
It's a
when
lot
you
of
say
things.
that, you know what came to my mind? That plays a major part of trauma growing up, watching parents arguing and arguing and arguing and arguing, and they're not getting their point across.
Yep.
They just arguing before you know it and got too heated.
Exactly.
And then as we grow, we think that's how we supposed to communicate.
Exactly.
But then when you raised around certain people and you watching them listen, and then when they speak in wisdom, they taking their time. They letting you speak, and then they speaking wisdom, and then you realize the power in it.
Yeah.
That's because those listeners, they paying attention to both sides. They hearing
Exactly.
your side and their side. And they going to give you time to shine, and then they going to give you theirs. You know what I'm saying? Because if we don't take time out to really listen to each other, we'll never get shit better.
Nope.
You feel me? We won't. Because a lot of us is crying out, but ain't nobody listening. Everybody just crying out.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
And a lot of people just talking just to be talking. Because a person can do wrong, and they know they did wrong. And they'll be quick to apologize. But when you apologize, you have to let that person know why you are apologizing. Because when you just start saying sorry, you
That's
sound
like sarcastic.
sorry. You know what I'm saying? And it's not believable. It's not, letting that person know, like, I messed up. And I'm really asking for forgiveness. And this is what I did, the reason why I'm apologizing. So that person will be like, okay, they took accountability. Now we can move past that.
And
But
they
a lot
understand
of
where you coming from.
And they even get a better understanding a little bit of why you did what you did. Because like Fastlane said, none of us is perfect.
Nope.
We all have faults.
Yes.
But, one of the things is, too, that you can't keep doing the same thing
Yes.
over and
That's
over
insanity.
and over, and keep apologizing for the same thing over and over and over, because your sorry becomes
because you're not addressing
So
it.
sorry for you.
Yeah.
It becomes so sorry for you.
Exactly.
And the thing is, one thing I done learned about that is, like, I realized, like, even if it's the next person or myself, you know what I mean, we play a part. If we entertain bullshit, we playing a part. And if we condone bullshit, we play a part. You know what I'm saying? But if we learn to let them be sorry, you know what I'm saying? But it's a cause and effect behind those things that you do. And when we wake each other up, like, you can't just keep coming out with sorry.
Right.
It's about either you're going to give me a better understanding, because how can I even help you if you're just saying sorry?
Right.
But why are you sorry?
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
And that plays that's the answer. Why are you sorry?
Exactly.
That way we don't keep on saying sorry again.
Exactly.
See what I'm
For the
saying?
same thing. thing.
So me myself now, I realize like at times where I done got a heated conversation with people that I care about or people that I'm connected to, because I'm only rocking with those that it got to be some type of connection involved.
I'm telling you.
I realize that at times I have my days, you know what I mean, and I'm gonna apologize first because as the man I stand, I don't have to entertain bullshit.
Exactly.
So first of all, for me entertaining it, I was out of pocket because of the level I'm supposed to be on within myself.
Exactly.
You see what I'm saying? So now we're gonna cut out the faults. Now let's get to the real reasons.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Because is it something personal, or did
Exactly.
I make you feel a certain way?
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Because that's what plays a major part. We don't realize how we make each other feel at times if we're not communicating.
Exactly.
Except when we exploding. And then when we exploding, then ain't no understanding because now it's bombs going off and no nobody hear nothing.
Right.
You know what
Because
I mean?
after it is that you just keep hearing the same thing, then all that does is it keeps rehashing that trauma. You know, it's not getting anything solved. And then I'm going to say me, myself, personally, I shut down.
Me too.
I will shut down. Because at that point, I'm not going to keep listening to the same thing over and over. But you're doing the same thing over and over again. I'm not going to keep listening to the explanation. Or I'm not going to keep just, paying attention to, even if you don't feel that you owe an explanation or you doing anything. Because I grew up with all of that kind of bull crap. It's time out. And to have to keep dealing with it. So that's a big thing when it comes to dealing with trauma. You got to understand that person's past in order to know how to deal with them in the present. Exactly. And if you don't take that time to understand that person's past, then y'all's present gonna be hell.
Exactly. But that person got to also be willing to share their past. You know what I'm saying? I shouldn't have to, if you and I are in conversation and I'm trying to get to know you or even trying to get to know more about you, I shouldn't have to beat you or keep on. You know what I'm saying? We trying to get to know each other a little better, then that means we got to share some things, But if you don't and it's just my opinion, if you're not sharing or you feel like you can't share anything from your past, that's a red flag to me.
I was just going to say
that's
that.
a red
that's
flag
when you
to
check
me,
yourself.
Because
you can't squeeze it out of nobody.
Exactly.
Right.
If they don't want to share, they ain't going to tell you, they ain't going to give you the real
But I
reason
need to
anyway.
know what I'm dealing with, because if you're not sharing, I'm only getting to know what I'm seeing.
A piece of you.
And I'm only getting to know a piece of you. I want to know all of you. Like, you know what I'm saying? How was your mother and father to you as a child? Because that helps me understand the man
What
that's
you
standing
dealing
in
with.
front of me. You know what I'm saying? Or what is it that you went through in your life that, you know what I'm saying, that kind of made you like you are? Because those are trauma that you went through. Because when a person that then went through something good, you feel that energy.
Yes.
That reflects on you. Like you know what I'm saying?
Right.
But a person that has been through something and never really addressed it, haven't talked about it, they don't want to share nothing about themselves for real.
You feel that energy too.
You feel
sure
that
do.
energy.
It's more of a draining energy.
It is.
And they won't realize they're draining you. They thinking like,
is.
well, it's just how I am.
Yeah,
But
how
that ain't
you
good.
is,
That's
but
the
how
big
you
thing,
is
yes.
affecting me.
I
But-
am
but
who I
see,
am.
One thing I learned about that part though is it's levels to this shit. And when I say it's levels, that means even with conversation. It's high power conversations, it's deep conversations, it's spiritual conversations. Everybody ain't trying to have them talks.
Exactly.
So me, myself, I feel like this. If I got to squeeze it out of you at the point I am, because I am a pour out, I will pour out.
Exactly.
I just don't pour out all the time when somebody asks me. I'm not a button. You can't just push me.
Exactly.
Right.
I got to make sure you're ready to hear this.
Come on
Because
now.
when you're
Come
ready to
on.
hear this, I'm going to give it to you.
I'ma
So you
give
can
it to
really
you.
understand what you're up against. That's the major key about dealing with people in relationships, period. Whether it's friendships or whatever. You got to understand what you up against.
Yes,
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Our elders told us too. See, I can keep going back to that because now I know. When they was telling us you got to court and you got to date and you got to get to know who you messing with before you call yourself tied in with them. You see what I'm saying? Because you know why? they got certain past traumas that might affect you and you might not find out till later. And now y'all feelings is attached, and now it's even harder for them to tell you.
And not only that, your kids can be involved too, because if you get to having kids with them, then your kids
passed on.
That's
and
right.
It's never been
or you ain't even
addressed.
gotta have kids with them. Just like I'm a grandmother, you know, and my grandkids is around that person. My grandbabies feel, because my grandbabies pick up on energy a lot. You know what I'm saying? And the youngest one, she asks questions, baby. That one there, she asks questions. She want to know everything.
Before she pray for you.
Before she pray for you. But I'm just saying that to say, like, you know, that's even if you ain't having kids with that person, you know, you have grandbabies, or you may have your niece, whoever you have around you that you bring around them. You know what I'm saying? You have to also watch that, because all of that play a part. You be wondering, like, well, dang, you was just happy. What happened? You know? But a lot of people don't like talking about their past because they are embarrassed about it.
Yeah, shameful.
But here's the thing. We all done did something we shameful or embarrassed about.
Or have been through.
But the thing of it is, how would you grow and become better if you don't talk about it?
That's right.
You won't.
But that just means that a lot of people don't want to grow or become better. That's when it is that you start seeing that they accepting that I am who I am. That's who it is, you know, that I am. So they've become receptive to who they are, and they don't want anything different or better or whatever the case may be.
That's because they haven't tapped into they self. You know why? When I say know thyself, it runs so deep. It's gonna take a lifetime to really know yourself.
Because it's
See,
a lifetime.
we could try to learn other people, but I can't waste so much time learning other people because
you don't know you.
As this time go by, I'm steady finding out stuff. I'm steady cracking codes within myself, and I'm like, whoa, you feel me? I was distracted. Even knowing myself, because I'm paying attention to everybody else.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? And that's how I tapped into the Most High even more, because you know why? He sent me on that alone time. And more of that alone time, when you ain't got nobody else to talk to. You start talking to yourself before you know it, you getting answers that you know you ain't gave yourself.
That's right.
See what I'm saying?
And then do y'all feel like some trauma y'all cause to yourself?
Well,
you know what I'm saying? Do that make sense? Like,
yeah,
you
that's
know
what I mean by knowing yourself.
Yeah,
so there's this thing that I found, once again, researching, called invisible trauma. Invisible trauma is, and I'll, you know, from, say, for instance, childhood, that parent talking down to that child, putting that child down, calling that child names, not physically abusing them or whatever. It's the things that you say. So that's the same thing for you yourself. If it is that you constantly putting yourself down, or you are, you know, doing things that is causing harm to your mental, you doing things that's causing harm to your physical, you are invisibly traumatizing yourself. Yes, most definitely. So that's
what we
true.
doing today is telling y'all, take time out and find someone that you could really talk to and express yourself where it's genuinely being heard. You know what I'm saying? They can't talk to everybody. It's okay. We understand that. We don't talk to everybody.
I'm trying to
see what I'm saying? But it is somebody that you could really talk to. And if you can't find him, pray for it. He'll send an angel. I done found strangers that came and gave me answers where I'm like, whoa, like it made me feel like they knew everything about me. You know what I'm saying? But the thing is, you got to be able to express yourself with somebody, you know, because if not, you're going to carry that load and keep carrying that load, and ain't nobody said we was promised another round.
That's
so
right.
We only got one life to live that we know of right now. So we got to go ahead and start living it to the fullest. And in order to live it to the fullest, we got to shake that extra baggage off. We got to face it and shake it off. You know what I'm saying?
And facing it is really being real with yourself. You really got to be real and honest with yourself. Because a lot of people make up in their mind different scenarios, and that's what they go with. And that, you know,
they
that
still lying to themselves.
Exactly.
They ain't faced it yet.
That's the point.
They ain't faced it. The
you
thing
know,
is,
you gotta
real
be
is real.
real with yourself.
See, you can't, like, everybody want to put their own definition of real.
Ooh,
but reality is reality. One thing we know, this is in front of us right now.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? No matter, I might say it's this, or you might say it's still right here in front of us.
That's right.
And you know what's real is real no matter what. And the realest thing is being real with yourself first. You know what I'm saying? Because when you're real with yourself, you see life in a way where you hear real things and you accept real things in a certain way where you know it's real. Because you ain't faking with yourself. So you ain't got no reason to fake with nobody else.
That's right.
You know what I mean? You ain't got no reason to lie to nobody else.
That's
You
right.
know, when everybody want to walk around like they just living in a perfect world, they lying to themselves.
Yeah.
Because we have good days and we have bad days. And when I say I done learned to turn my bad days into good days, is because I put God in front of all my days. And if a rough day come in front of me, I know he led me to that storm for a reason. So he gonna lead me through this. He gonna lead me through the storm.
Exactly.
And it was something in that storm for me.
That's
And now I have learned that, see, when you think like that, it ain't too much the devil can do to you.
That's
because
right.
when God got you, what can he really do to you?
He can't.
If God for you, who can be against you?
So my bad days is my good days. That's just like I heard people like, oh, it's a rainy day today. Oh, I hate these rainy days. But you don't realize the peace you can find in rainy days. Calm the earth down.
Yes.
Everybody can't run around all day in the rain. Everybody
right.
can't stand in the
That's
rain.
right.
You see what I'm saying? But
Absolutely.
it calms. You can find peace. You know, you can find peace in a storm. You know.
Yes, you can, most definitely. And don't think that you know everything. That mentality right there is also a part of trauma because you're covering up those areas that you you know that you have difficulties with. No one is perfect. As I'll say it again, we were perfectly made, but we are not perfect.
We were
wonderfully made, right? But we are not perfect. We are wonderfully made, but we are not perfect. So you have to understand that everybody needs somebody.
Yeah.
If it's no more, then but you have to also be that receptive person to listen and, you know, hear what it is that other person is saying. You can't always downplay that other person as if it is that you know everything and there is nothing that's bothering you or nothing affects you. Everybody has some form of feelings and emotions.
And it traumatizes them.
Yes, it
and
does.
You got to be able to deal with it.
Most definitely.
But we got to be able to accept the help. You
Yeah.
know, like a lot of us cry out for help but don't know how to accept it.
That's right.
You know
Absolutely.
what I'm saying? Like, you know, like you can get all kind of answers to your questions and you won't even hear it. You know what I'm saying? Because you don't want to accept the help.
And
you know?
sometimes in the question you ask is your answer.
Yep.
Exactly.
You know, so...
Yep. But you don't understand you, so you don't even understand what
you don't even understand what you ask.
Exactly. You don't
That's
even
why
understand
you gotta
what you asking.
know yourself. Take time off. Know like what hurts me. Oh, I don't like to hear that. And then you'll start. Well, I don't like the taste of this. Or I don't like this because it was forced on me as a kid. I don't like cabbage because you know, whatever it is. I love cabbage, but I'm just making examples. You know what I'm saying? It's certain things that as we was growing up as children, it was forced on us, and then we'll grow up hating it and don't even know why.
Like, you know, like, I'm gonna be honest with you. And you know, rest easy, Granny. But I used to hate going over Grandma Ossie's house only because of the way she treated us. You know what I'm saying? I used to hate going over there, but I loved going over Grandma Bert's house. I love going over, you know, Grandma Rosie's house. I love going over Grandma Celia's house too, but she just, you know, she kind of had her little way. But
she was traumatized.
She was traumatized, but so was Grandma Ossie. But I know these things now. But as a kid, you saying like, why is this lady so mean? You know, Mama say, we going up. I want to go over Grandma Ossie's house. But you know, when you get older and you understand and start realizing that they were traumatized and it was never dealt with. It was just swept up under the rug. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So those are generational curses that have passed down and passed down, and we have to stop them. You know, we got to start breaking those generational curses, because if not, from us it goes to our kids. From their kids it continues to trickle and trickle, and you wondering why you like you are. You gotta go back to the roots. You got to.
Yep.
You know, you gotta go back to the roots.
Yep.
I ain't seen a tree grow without roots. I ain't seen a flower bloom without a seed.
Yep.
I just haven't. Without the roots of it. I never seen it.
Yep. So you gotta
and
start.
A lot of people have taken the roots and detached. So they think they growing. Ain't no nourishment or no watering or no sunshine getting into that. You know, we gotta put them roots back.
Yeah. Well, that's why I say that, some people detach themselves away from the trauma that it is that they've dealt with instead of, but it's impacting you now.
Right. Yeah.
It's impacting you now. Right. So regardless to whether we want to believe it or not, things that we go through in today's life has been caused because of previous, even in the Bible. Hey, God told the children of Israel that what it was that as parents, what they did will impact their kids. You are responsible for what it is that you have done and brought up on your kids.
Until we face that, and you know what's deep about that? As a people, till we face that part. See, we've been programmed so much to blame the devil and white man or this and that, to the point where we ain't looked in the mirror yet. Because you know why? If we know who we really are in the true beginning, and I can't say when it was the beginning, but I'm saying if we know that we was the original people on this earth, that means that we crossed each other before any other man on this earth. You see what I'm saying? And that's what we facing right now, because we still ain't fixed that fact right there. You see what I'm saying? We look for the devil in everybody else, but not within ourselves, because we think it's a color.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But we don't know it's an energy, and it's a spirit. You see what I'm saying? So that ain't no color. Ain't no color to that energy or
that spirit. That's right.
So it's steady. It's steady working the people, because we looking in everywhere else except within ourselves. You know what I'm saying?
And we gotta know that the devil is everything that the choice that we made is not of the devil, because that was a choice. That's why God gave us choice.
Yes, He did.
You know what I'm saying? The devil can intervene because he can dangle and make it look good, but you still have a choice of whether or not you gonna go for that, or you not gonna go for that.
That's right.
So, a lot of people blame everything on the devil. No, like Fast Lane just said, you gotta look in that mirror.
That's right.
Because you will find that a lot of that fault is within you. Not even, the devil ain't have nothing to do with it. After you made that choice, then of course he came and swooped on in and he gave you just the choice you made. Right. But he didn't make the choice for you. You made it. Exactly. Right. And we gotta understand that. Like, the devil did not make these choices.
Like they always say, the devil made me do it. No, he didn't.
That was a cop out. They taught us to find cop outs.
Yeah, no, he didn't.
When we started using those cop outs, we kept using them, and we still use them to this day. You know what I mean? We want to fault everything else outside of us. We don't realize the power within us.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? We can move mountains if we tap into ourselves.
That's right.
Real.
Take responsibility.
Or
take
we
accountability.
Can turn them down.
That's right.
And that's
Absolutely.
what's happening, because we're not even being, like he said, balance out the scales. When he said balance out the scales, that didn't mean both sides was good.
Right.
See what I'm saying? It's impossible. Because if it was both sides good, the scale's going to be tipped over with all good.
Absolutely.
You see what I'm saying? No, he said balance it out. And when he said that, he was letting us know that you ain't going to be perfect. Exactly. You're going to have some bad days. You're going to do some bad things. But try to put more good on that scale than that bad. That's right.
So and at least repent for what it is that you're doing. Hey, ask for that forgiveness so that you can. And you know what? You have to forgive yourself too. Because we are, I don't know how many times we can say we're not perfect. So you have to ask for forgiveness within yourself as well. So, yeah. Hey,
that's how you balance it out.
Yeah.
Because when you start seeking forgiveness, you stop whooping yourself. You see what I'm saying? If you really believe that part, though. If you really believe you asking for forgiveness and you know that he's a merciful God, then you ain't got time to keep whooping yourself. It's time to enjoy it.
Right.
It's time, because that burden has been released.
Right.
You
That's
know what I'm
right.
saying? Why am I still carrying it? That's just like how Yasha said, when you praying for something, you only should pray once instead of steady asking twice,
like
and 3 times, because like he ain't heard us the first time.
Right.
Well, even when you asking for forgiveness, you gotta know that he have
forgiven you.
Forgiven. You see why? You know why? Because all he wanted you to do was ask for it. He had already gave it to you. You know why?
Right.
He knew you was gonna ask for it before you asked for it. He knew what you was gonna do before you
done it.
That's
grace and mercy, man. That grace and mercy.
So we gotta stop whooping ourselves with this journey.
Yeah.
We gotta learn to really embrace this journey. You know what I'm saying? We gotta realize, like, the things we go through, it plays a major part of your strengthening process. You know what I'm saying? When you might not be feeling strong when you're going through it, but when you look back and you'd have made it through it, some gave you some strength to get through it.
I'm trying to tell you.
You know?
Yep,
So,
most definitely.
Just know that trauma is real, and we need to face it. You know, it's not an easy thing, but if you've been through some trauma, you have to face it, deal with it. Start with that man in the mirror. Get to know thyself. Because when you start to know yourself, a lot of the trauma that you have, endured, you'll know how to, deal with it to be able to pay it forward, So
and don't feel bad. I can't say enough. Don't feel bad about talking it through. Hey, everybody putting their stuff on Facebook. Everybody putting their stuff on Instagram and all of that. But that's not giving you release of that trauma and what it is that you're going through. That you right. You just
really
feeding.
Yeah, you
because
entertaining.
now we all done went through this.
Yeah.
But who got the answer?
You right.
Yeah.
Who really listening?
Yes.
Yeah.
Personally
That's
listening.
Who is helping you heal from that? If we all done been through it, and you can relate to that, but are you being healed from it? But just saying that, or putting it
Just
on
a bunch of
Facebook or
folks on
Instagram or
Facebook,
whatever.
yeah.
And people are good with saying when you do put stuff out there, I'm praying for you. But are they really praying for you?
That's just
You got to learn
Right.
how to pray
Come
for
on.
yourself.
Man,
You
yeah.
got to learn how to give it to who can help
And-
relieve it.
Exactly, and then you better not ask everybody to pray
That's
for
right,
you, because you don't know
absolutely.
what people praying.
Yeah, you don't know what kind of curses they putting
You
on
hear
you.
me? You don't know what people praying for. So you better watch who you asking to
Some
pray
people
for you.
praying for your downfall.
Oh.
That's
Okay.
right,
You see what I'm
absolutely.
saying?
Oh, this there. They didn't put on here. They going through. So, Jesus, then you take them through. Take them through. You don't know what people praying for. You know what I'm saying? That's why you got to watch. You got to listen. I've learned that everybody is not for Miss Kiwi.
That's right.
And it's okay. And that's not saying that Miss Kiwi better than the next person or none of that. It's just saying that I've learned everybody is not for me.
That's right.
Everything that everybody goes through, say, and all that, it's just not for me. You know what I'm saying? I have started watching what I feed my spirit with. I have started watching who I let come into my space. You know what I'm saying? Because I found that through watching my traumas, I'm dealing with them. I'm being able to, for real, face what I've been through, and I'm
burdens
being
get
able
lighter.
Exactly.
You start lightening up.
Like, I don't feel so heavy no more. You know, and it's okay, and that's why I be trying to tell. You know what I'm saying? There is somebody for everybody,
Man, I was
but
just
you
gonna
gotta
say
know that everybody is
Ain't
not
for
you.
you. That's right.
Like
feel
they
what
say,
I'm
what's
saying?
for you is
It's
for
for
you.
you.
And we
That's
got to
right.
accept that simple part.
Exactly.
Everybody ain't
Exactly.
going to like how you look today.
Okay.
Everybody ain't going to say you fly. Everybody ain't going to give you strength. Everybody
Okay.
ain't going to motivate you.
Yeah.
But what's for you is for you.
For you.
And you got to know the difference. When you see those that motivate you and when you see those that inspire you, they going to show you.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? When you see those that really want to be concerned about your well-being, they'll take time out to listen, to see where you at today. And then sometimes you get a call out of nowhere and you ain't even talk to these people. They like, man, you was just on my mind, bro. How you doing today, my nigga? And then it's like, damn, dog, it's crazy. I was kind of going through something, man. It's crazy you just called.
Yeah.
What made you just call?
Yeah.
I don't know, something on my spirit. That's how you know your people that you're connected with. Even when you're not with them, they going to still show you they still with you.
That's
Right.
See
And
what I'm
God
saying?
is going to send who is for you. He
Yeah.
going to send them to you.
You just got to see it.
That's right. And not be receptive to, like you stated, everybody. Because everybody is not for you. And that's I'm beginning, I'll say, to believe that most definitely what we talking about is who is for you because God done sent them for you. But who is not. Because you will be able to tell, if not right away, eventually you're going to be able to tell that this was not for me.
Because you got to think about it. Just sit and think about how many people you encounter in a day.
Yep.
And out of those people that you encounter in a day, how many people have been there and still there? That's why you got to know the people that come in your life for a reason, a season, and a lifetime. And they'll actually let you know. You feel me? If you know thyself, then they'll let you know. Yeah. Because with your energy and everybody's energy don't connect. You know what I'm saying? And some people will come in your life just to tear you down.
Yep. Yep.
Some people will come in your life they will woo you and make you feel like they there for you, and
then
they want to see
you
win,
find out,
and I want to see you win. I want the best for you. And the whole time they praying on you. The whole time they turn you down. You know what I'm saying? The whole time you thinking like, oh, this person really in my corner.
Until you cry on their shoulders.
Until you,
and then next thing you know, you hear about it from somebody else.
Or either they
and then you hear about it from somebody else. You like, damn, I was talking to him.
Right. How you find out?
Yes. And really, how did that conversation go when they shared that with you? Because did they send you to come help me too, or was they just talking about me?
Yep.
You see what I'm saying?
That's right.
And a lot of times it don't be that they're trying to get somebody like, bro, we need to go help him out, man. He going through some things right now. It ain't that no more. It's mostly they have became gossipers, and I'm just talking about as the people. You know, we sit and gossip a lot. But we're not giving each other good solutions or giving each other strength or giving each other that motivation to keep pushing or giving each other that idea of how to shake it off and keep rolling.
And then a lot of people, you know, and they just don't understand that what it is that you may be going through can help somebody else. So a lot of people be all like, I ain't got time for all that because I'm going through X, Y, and Z. But you just never know what it is that you are going through and how it is that it can help somebody else, especially yourself.
But I'm going to say this too, though. When you going through, and this is just my opinion, when you going through, you may need to go and try to find somebody that's going through something. Because when you hear other people's stories,
you know that yours
it makes you sit back and be like, if you don't get somewhere and sit down and get yourself together, you know what I'm saying? Because your life ain't even about you for real. Your life is to help somebody else.
Right.
And when you hear somebody else's struggles and their stories, you be like, man, thank you, God. I ain't even been through none of that. And I'm sitting here complaining about what I have been through.
And that's just like those people when you get off that highway and you seeing them. Some of them got blankets, they sleeping right there. Some of them out there with the cups, and you don't know what they finna do. You see what I'm saying? But even if you don't hand them $1, one thing you can't take from them is I ain't out here in the cold right now.
Right.
Or I ain't sleeping in this cold right now. Or whatever they did to get there, I'm not right there right now.
Exactly.
You see what I'm saying?
Yep.
So no matter where I'm at in this journey, I'm in a better place than me standing outside in the freezing cold.
Right.
So I got a lot of reasons to be thankful. Even if it ain't going like I needed to go right now,
and
it's gonna
even
get better.
appreciating them. You know, a lot of people turn their backs on
That's
them.
why they say be careful of entertaining strangers, because you never know when you're entertaining an angel.
Absolutely.
Well, some of those people standing out there,
or angels,
they wake up calls for you.
Yep.
And we don't think God got that much power, but he do. He said he's everywhere. So he can put something right in your face, even though that's a stranger. It might have been personally just for you. Now, it's how you take it, though. You know what I'm saying? So me, myself, when I see them and I get off that highway, that gives me motivation. You know why? Because I don't care how cloudy my day could have been in my head. It wakes me up and clear it out real quick. Like, man, you not where they at. You see what I'm saying? You not where they at.
Exactly. And
So
you know,
you all right.
You
know what I
all
mean?
right. And you know, a lot of at first I used to be like, giving my dollars out, just giving them out. But I had to stop and I had to pray on that, because God showed me, like, all them dollars that you giving out, you being codependent to a lot of them people, and they not using them dollars for good. But I just had to learn, God, touch me if I need to pass $1 or whatever to somebody, because I never know when I might be in that situation.
Right.
I thank God I am not in that situation, and I try my best every day that he allowed me to wake not to be in that situation. But you have to also look and be like, that could be me one day. You know what I'm saying? That
Yeah,
could be
that's the
me.
reason why
and
I don't
I just
question
pray
it.
for him.
I don't
pray
question
for him,
it.
because you know, like, you don't never know. You just
right.
never know. Like,
Yeah,
you just
I don't
never
question
know.
it, because everybody has,
never
you know,
know.
go through different things differently.
Yeah.
And whatever it is that brought them to the point to where it is that they are, you can't question.
That's part of their
You
journey.
cannot question
It is,
it.
because
part
a
of
lot
their
of them,
journey.
ain't even homeless because they gotta be.
Right.
Facts.
So it
and
make you
then,
wonder.
And then, well, you know, I don't even wonder.
I mean,
No, I'm
neither.
just saying, like, you know,
I
like,
understand, but I'm saying, like, when I say I don't
Yeah.
wonder, I'm saying to the point where when I understand that it's part of their journey, I realize that it's a lot of them that is been on that corner that have turned around and been very successful. You see what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Because they woke up somewhere along that journey because it was time for them to wake up. It's just like somebody reading you scriptures all day because you're going through something and you ain't hearing none of those scriptures. But then when you get put in a certain situation,
You remember
and
them
all of them
scriptures.
scriptures start pouring in your head. It's like,
That's right.
because now it was meant for that time. Timing is everything. You see what I'm saying? Even understanding. You could go to school all day, and if you ain't in a place of understanding, you ain't gonna understand nothing the teacher trying to teach
That's
you.
right.
You know what I'm saying? But when the Most High when he ain't trying, when it's time for him to reveal what he trying to reveal to you, he's gonna make sure you understand, because he gonna put you in situations where you ain't gonna have no choice. And then you gonna hurt. You gonna hurt then. You gonna take time because you're silenced down, because you can't, what more can you say?
That's right.
When you done ran out of words, now you looking for answers. You see what I'm saying? And it gets to that point. And so I learned to always keep myself grounded.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? Just like a ground wire. You keep yourself grounded no matter how good it is. You know what I mean? You keep yourself grounded, and that keep you humble, knowing that I can be in that situation. I can. But me staying humble and grounded, I'm going to do everything I can to keep myself out of that situation. Because it takes sacrifices too. You know what I mean? You can't do everything. Some people be like, well, this is what I do. Well, what you do might be the cause of your downfall. You know what I'm saying? But that goes back to checking self. That's why I said I checks myself the most, because you know why? I need myself to stay on point. You know what I'm saying? No matter who, I don't care who don't like it or who like me or do. I still need me to be on point. You know why? Because when they gone, I'm gonna feel it.
Exactly.
When I'm going through the pain, if nobody else going through the pain with me, I'm gonna feel it.
Exactly.
You know?
Well, y'all, you know, it's been past that time, but you know what, y'all, we appreciate y'all for listening. You might not have called in, but hopefully you got something from this, and you can pass it forward to the next person, because trauma is real. Trauma is a part of mental, and mental is definitely real. Till next Friday, we love y'all. Thank you for tuning in. Make sure you like, subscribe, and share.
Absolutely. Take us away.
We on the right to this bad plan. 747. Nephew is definitely in the building. Shout out to you, nephew. Yeah.
I've been in front, and behind of a gun, and most of these niggas ain't even been on the side of one. I watch my life have been reflected through the eyes of my son. They say my age makes a difference, cause we die to be young. I done took so many losses, I'm cautious of my surroundings. They killed my little cousin Shining. It's fucked up how they didn't found him. It's fucked up how they pronounced it. I didn't like how that shit sounded. I looked into Shannon Nice, you can tell that them bitches drowned them. They imitate Michael Brown them, and I never forget it. It hurts to know someone done it. Worse when you don't know who did it. Another murder committed. Who put this curse on my city? I took what these niggas